Now at 10, how local school districts are working on providing more protection for students. Plus, a Joplin police officer receives national recognition. We'll tell you why. And 4 staters went out to check out the first Thursday Art Walk.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We have breaking news for you tonight out of Independence, Kansas. Police are searching for a suspect for attempted murder and other charges. This is KOAM News at 10. Early this afternoon, a cyclist in Independence was injured by a car. When officers arrived, they found a 39-year-old man with serious injuries. Witnesses say the suspect vehicle left the scene and identified a driver with a small child with him. They say 39-year-old Brian Metzger of Independence is suspected of attempted murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and aggravated endangerment of a child. Authorities say they believe he knows the victim and that it was a targeted attack. The victim was taken to the hospital. No word on his identity. The Cherokee County, Kansas Attorney's Office is now reviewing a fatal shooting in Baxter Springs from March. County Attorney Nathan Coleman today met with agents from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. They discussed the investigation into the deaths of 27-year-old Taylor Shute, 37-year-old Eli Crawford, and 2-year-old Cleslin Crawford. Shortly after 7 p.m. on March 26, authorities received a 911 call for help from a woman. Officials say that Eli Crawford shot and killed Taylor Don Shute and went back inside with the 2-year-old child. After a nearly 3.5-hour standoff, they say an officer was able to fire back. Officers found Crawford and the child dead inside. A KBI investigation has determined that the bullet that killed the 2-year-old was fired by a Joplin police officer. Coleman clarified to KOAM that this is still an open investigation pending his review. While the investigation continues into everything that happened in the Uvalde, Texas school shooting, we wanted to know what local districts are doing to keep staff and students safe here. As more information is released from Uvalde, officials with the Neosho and Joplin school districts say they'll be reviewing their existing safety plans. Over the past several years, districts have added extra safety precautions like security entrances and requiring visitors to check in before they're allowed access to the school buildings. In addition, they work to ensure that all doors are locked.
You concentrate on educating students and staff not to prop doors open, not to leave them open, things like that. And then it's the responsibility of administration to inspect those. We have a tremendous buildings and grounds crew that do a great job of doing that. But sometimes, a failure will happen before someone has a chance to look at it.
Neosho and Joplin both review their safety and security policies on a regular basis. Newton County, Missouri authorities charged the president of the Neosho Youth Football League with stealing tens of thousands of dollars in league funds. According to a probable cause statement, league president Stuart Pace acknowledged to authorities that he misused funds in a checking account. The amount of the theft is unclear, but the charging document says it's more than $25,000. A Joplin police officer has received national recognition. Captain William Davis visited New York today to attend the Roll Call for Heroes event held by the First Responders Children Foundation. Captain Davis is being honored for his unusual selflessness and courage when he stopped the suspect from the March shooting that killed 2 fellow officers. The ceremony paid tribute to 6.5 million first responders across our nation. 4 staters took advantage of the beautiful weather this evening to enjoy some art made by local artists. There were 7 venues and a lot of artists, some of them being new to the Art Walk in Joplin. One exhibit called Sea Sisters Spirit in the Flow had wands, shrines, and a popular piece of art, dolls.
It actually happened during COVID. I was just looking for something creative and artistic to express my frustrations and upset over that time. And they just kind of evolved, and now I can't stop.
That art walk ran from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in downtown Joplin along Main Street, Wall Street, and Joplin Avenue. This was also a nice day to go out to the Vernon County Fair. Ticket prices varied, but children 6 and under got in free. The event started today, lasts until Saturday. It begins at 8 p.m. and runs until 10:30 p.m. Activities include steer wrestling, bull riding, and calf roping. Let's check in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
Well, I'll tell you, Dal, the rodeo that took place in Vernon County, the Joplin Outlaws getting going throughout the course of the evening. It was perfect for any outdoor plans for today with, again, quiet skies up top. But once we got past a cloudy start this morning, we went from 58 this morning, topping out at 77 degrees this afternoon. We're starting the late night hours out now with mostly clear skies. Cloud cover out west will eventually start to build in, but high pressure control, it's not allowing any rain chances to come our way, at least not yet. We'll have to wait until it moves along before this front starts to change things up as we go deeper into the coming weekend. Right now, I have some upper 50s popping up already, but lower to middle 60s across the rest of the region. A quick look at our day planner showing the clouds working in by tomorrow morning by sunrise, but we'll go from a chilly start in the mid 50s to upper 70s for tomorrow afternoon, Dow. But unfortunately, rain chances in the forecast. We'll break it all down here in a few.
See you then. 99 years ago, Jefferson Highway was formed. Jefferson Highway is now known as Highway 69. Now, at the time, it was christened by 3 girls breaking bottles of milk, tea, and water. Today, at the corner of Highway 69 and 47 in Franklin, also known as Gennardi's Corner, people gathered to celebrate the highway's anniversary. 3 girls recreated the christening by breaking bottles again.
So we hope people will come through and stop and visit and see the monuments that we have around town and visit our park and our museum.
The Jefferson Highway, now Highway 69, runs through 7 states. A youth transitional living facility in Joplin is the recipient of a new award. Head Start today gave Loving Grace the Head Start Hero Award. Loving Grace is a facility that provides an 18 to 21 month program for young women and their children. The facility's Safe Stay program provides housing, food, education, and a variety of other resources for their residents.
They start with them at the beginning and help them with resources that they need in the community themselves and what the pregnancy is going to be like and what motherhood's going to be like. And then once the baby is born, they stay with them and help them with the development and different ideas to do with their children to help with the development growth. So.
Head Start Hero gives local recognition to partners for exceptional services to individual Head Start grantees and delegates. Kansas is getting a suicide prevention and mental health crisis hotline, along with mobile crisis intervention teams to help respond to the calls. Governor Laura Kelly today signed the bipartisan legislation creating both. Kelly said, quote, "There's no doubt having mobile crisis teams just a phone call away will save lives." The 988 hotline will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will be within the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline Center's network. Utility companies are now teaming up to produce solar energy in Harrison, Arkansas. Noah Tucker reports on how the move will benefit Arkansas in several ways.
The last several years, Arkansas has been behind in solar energy.
But increasingly, you're seeing that the cheapest form of new electricity generation is renewable. It's either solar or wind.
The folks at Scenic Hills Solar have began producing energy at a solar farm in Harrison, and recently it's shown to be ever important to have diverse energy generation.
The most recent dramatic example of that was, of course, in Texas last year, where you had record cold. That created a perfect storm whereby you did have rolling blackouts, and of course you had some real human tragedies where a couple hundred people froze to death.
What you see behind me here is 2,500 total modules, and after a year, it will produce enough to fully power 200 homes. Not only that, because of a local partnership down the road, it may even help people on their water bills. That's right. The plant will also provide energy for the Ozark Mountain Regional Public Water Authority.
We were looking for ways to save money. I've heard about Scenic Hills, so I contacted them to see if Public Water Authority would qualify. That started the process, and that was back in November of 2019.
Several years in the making, Ozark Mountain estimates it will save them $7,000 per month, savings that over time will likely trickle down to its customers.
Right now, we need the money for some projects. It will save customers money, and we hope eventually to reduce the bill some.
Solar, where the fuel cost is literally zero. Nobody is charging us for sunshine. We got plenty of it. It's time we put it to maximum effect on behalf of all Arkansans.
Coming up, an update on the suspect in the Buffalo supermarket shooting. Plus,
President Biden is calling on Congress to take action on gun control. I'm Skylar Henry in Washington with more on his remarks as lawmakers here on the Hill work to find common ground on meaningful reform.
a grand jury in New York has indicted the man accused of killing 10 people and injuring 3 at a Buffalo supermarket. Peyton Gendron is indicted on charges of state domestic terrorism and hate crimes that would carry a mandatory sentence of life in prison. He's also been charged with attempted murder and with using a weapon while committing a felony. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges. President Biden delivered a prime-time televised address tonight after several mass shootings shook the nation and rekindled the national debate on gun reform. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are discussing several proposals.
President Biden is calling for action after a wave of large-scale mass shootings sparked renewed demands for gun reform.
How many more innocent American lives must be taken before we say enough? Enough.
The president's Thursday night address to the nation follows the deaths of 19 school children and 2 teachers in Uvalde, Texas, 4 people at a Tulsa, Oklahoma hospital, and 10 at a Buffalo, New York supermarket.
We should reinstate the assault weapons ban on high-capacity magazines that we passed in 1994 with bipartisan support in Congress.
Thursday, a House panel approved the Protecting Our Kids Act, which includes a provision to raise the required age for buying semi-automatic firearms from 18 to 21. If it passes the full House, the measure is unlikely to muster enough support in the evenly divided Senate.
The public is demanding that we take action.
Republicans slammed the hearing as threatening the Second Amendment. Some brought their own weapons.
Here's a Sig Sauer 320. It takes a 20-round magazine.
In the Senate, Maine Republican Susan Collins says a group of senators discussing gun reform is making, quote, rapid progress toward a common sense package.
So we're working, hoping to come up with a bipartisan agreement so we can pass something at the federal level that will actually target this problem.
The Senate negotiations are focused on improving background checks and so-called red flag laws that keep guns from people who could harm themselves or others. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate passed no major gun reform legislation after 20 children were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School in 2012. A little bit later, highlights from the matchup between the Joplin Outlaws and Nevada Griffins.
Plus, even though we're dry tonight and we can start the weekend off on a nice note, it won't stay nice for much longer. Forecast next. Our Thursday played out as advertised as far as our weather goes. We started out with a lot of clouds this morning, allowing temperatures to only drop back into the 50s, but Mother Nature, getting the hint, cleared us out nicely as we went throughout the course of the day. We'll see how temperatures fared in just a moment or so. But the clouds this morning, that was actually from a dying complex of thunderstorms that arced its way through central and southern Oklahoma and eventually through southern parts of Arkansas. No rain to speak of here. In fact, I don't see any rain concerns to deal with until we get deeper into the weekend, and certainly with the way things are looking as we go into the first full week of June lined up ahead of us. As far as temperatures go, about the same when you compare afternoon temperatures. We had upper 70s to near 80 yesterday, upper 50s this morning, and right back to about 77, 78 degrees this afternoon. And so far, still looking good. We had a nice sky to see to get this Thursday evening underway. We've still got plenty of that for sure at Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri, and from 7th and Range Line from the east side of Joplin. We're sitting at 62 downtown and at the airport with that north breeze light at 3 miles per hour. Everybody is starting to really drop off now. We do have a couple upper 50s on the board, but most of us lower to middle 60s. But I still think we're not done dropping off just yet. We'll drop back into the lower to middle 50s, and there's a good reason for that. Not only because we're starting out with mostly clear skies going into the night, we have high pressure keeping us quiet and that breeze pretty light as well. But once that scoots along, our next front to the north will get us act together, start heading our way as we go deeper into the weekend. And in the upper levels, this jet stream is orienting itself more out of the west and northwest. So all these waves building out to the west upstairs. They're going to come our way, and we're talking about, unfortunately, days of rain chances lining up for us. Fortunately, none of that is in the cards for us as we go through the rest of the night. But building cloud cover out west, yeah, they can certainly make an early appearance by the time we get the morning drive started, but nothing underneath the clouds. We're dry Friday morning with everybody dropping back into the lower to middle 50s. Slightly overdoing the cloud cover here, but we'll go partly sunny skies and still looking quite warm, even with a light easterly breeze throughout the day. We'll go from 54 in the morning, 74 by noon. I see Joplin topping out at 78 degrees with other outlying areas also topping out in the upper 70s. We're quiet, nice for Friday night. Any big storms that want to fire up late Friday night, Saturday morning should stay just to the west, but it's something we'll still watch. But as we go deeper into Saturday, certainly by the afternoon, that's when we'll start to see at least some scattered thunderstorm chances return with highs in the upper 70s to near 80. But that's the start of the parade of rain chances. Once we hit Saturday night, Sunday morning, we'll watch for a complex of storms try to come our way. Then we'll do it again Monday. More rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and going into Thursday of next week. And I want to show you the rain tracker here before we send things back over to the desk. These numbers aren't set in stone yet. All depends on where the heavy rain passes on through. But by the time we go into next Thursday, it would not surprise me at all if we see rain amounts varying between 1 and maybe up to 4 inches. And that could be some potential flooding issues we'll have to keep a close eye on. Well, let's go 78. We're dry tomorrow, near 80 Saturday and Sunday, despite the rain chances coming in. The temperatures not too bad, mid-70s to lower 80s for a good portion of next week now.
We'll deal with the rain because we have to.
Yes, we will.
Thanks. Here's a look at our tower camera sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction as work continues on the KOAM More Power Project. Check it out anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Jacob here now with sports. It's opening night for the Joplin Outlaws.
Outlaws kick off their schedule tonight at home against the Nevada Griffins. We're going to have those highlights and Coach of the Year honors for a Southeast Kansas softball coach. We'll have details coming up next. Well, tonight is the opening night of the season for the Joplin Outlaws. The Outlaws kick off their schedule with a home game this evening against the Nevada Griffins. Now, tonight's game is the first of 4 straight home games to begin the season for Joplin. We're scoreless in the 4th. Nevada, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Adrian Rangel gets 2 huge strikeouts to get out of the jam. Later, Andrew Pickering knocks it through the gap for the base hit. 2 will score for the Griffins. They go on to put up 5 in the top of the 6th. Outlaws, though, have a response first. Carson Carpenter pokes it out into the grass and right for the single. Then Max Bruff just crushes this one, man. 2-run homer gets Joplin on the board. Outlaws, though, strand 2 in the 9th, falling in their opener 5-4. In the majors, opening game of a rivalry series tonight between the Cardinals and Cubs. Cards have won 3 straight and 5 of their last 6. They got 2 runs in the 9th tonight, but that's not enough. They fall short 7-5. Paul Goldschmidt goes 1 for 5 on the night with a double and an RBI. Well, Pittsburgh State's Garrett McGowan earns yet another postseason award today. McGowan has been named an All-American this afternoon by the NCBWA. You kind of know the story on McGowan by now. Led the team with a .399 batting average, posted a team-high 79 RBIs. He hit 18 home runs, also had a perfect fielding percentage at first base for the Gorillas. McGowan is the 9th All-American in Pitt State program history. Columbus High School head softball coach Amy Saporito has been named the CNC Coach of the Year. The Titans had one of the best seasons in program history. Now, they started the spring with 12 consecutive wins, finished with an 18-3 overall record. Now, along the way, they won their first ever CNC League championship and had 8 players earn all-conference recognition.
That was big. I wish that you always want to get all of them. You don't want to leave one, but it was a big deal. As we've went throughout the past several years, it's been a struggle to get 1 or 2 on, not alone 8 of them. So, I truly believe they deserve it, and they worked hard for it.
You can check out the full list of all CNC softball awards in this story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Finally, Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight. The Golden State Warriors host the Boston Celtics. Right now, it's Boston leading 111-103 with less than 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Former KU standout Andrew Wiggins has 20 points tonight for Golden State. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Melvin Brooks served in the U.S. Army. The Joplin native served for a year in the Korean War, and we salute Sergeant Melvin Brooks, a four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes, thousands of them from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. It's very simple. You just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. A huge financial milestone for LeBron James. He's reportedly the first current NBA player to become a billionaire. Forbes reports the 37-year-old Los Angeles Lakers superstar now has a net worth of a cool $1 billion. According to the magazine, James is already the league's highest paid active player. He's brought in upwards of $900 million from endorsements and other business ventures and made more than $121 million last year alone. Before him, basketball legend Michael Jordan was the only other NBA player to hit 10 figures, but he didn't become a billionaire until after he retired.
Wow.
Yeah. You're a billionaire. What's 100 million one way or the other, I suppose.
I'm just going to say he wouldn't be hit that yet if he didn't go to L.A. You ain't doing that in Cleveland.
Yeah, he would merely be very, very, very rich.
He'd be poor, like 750. Yeah.
Chances of rain eventually, but not just yet.
Yeah, we're dry for tonight, and we stay dry to kick off the weekend tomorrow with highs near 78. It's not until Saturday and certainly Sunday. That's when the rain chances will ramp up.
Final sports note.
Celtics beat the Warriors. It is final 120-108 in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics outscored the Warriors 40-16 in the fourth quarter to close it out.
Big comeback in that game. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.